Hi, it's Jen Healy. I'm back with day 18. And this is the Be Brave Challenge for the Fearless 30-day challenge that I have jumped into. So this is a very special day. I wanted to talk about family dynamics and why we actually choose some of the families that we're born into. And it may not seem like we would choose to be born into certain situations, but what I have been shown and see from the perspective of spirit is that we all choose from a soul level the family dynamics and the situations that we will be born into to learn certain things. And this is for the growth and the evolution of our path, and that no matter what situation somebody chooses to be born into, we're all going to learn the same lessons, but they're going to be very different in form and in flavor. So even though it might not look like it is the best choice to be born into a situation like I was, where there was a lot of poverty, where there was no father figure, and that my mom had different mental and emotional instabilities that led her to leave when I was 14 very unexpectedly, I wanted to talk about what I learned from that and what I see other generations learning from the choices that they have made. So as I mentioned in some past videos, I've been living on my own since I was 14, and that's really unusual. What I learned is to be very responsible and to take care of myself, and I became very independent, fiercely independent, some would even say. So as an adult, I'm learning how to trust, and I'm learning how to open up and to feel welcomed and like I belong in certain situations, especially around families. I can feel a little awkward sometimes, and I'm doing this challenge to share more about myself and to be really transparent about those things. That's my definition of brave. But as I've grown into adulthood and I've seen the gifts and the benefit of being in that family dynamic and situation, I really value my strength and independence, and I am learning how to be part of the society. So I have had a more zoomed out view of what community is, what friends are, and that we are here to come together beyond just our nuclear family and our bloodlines. And I really appreciate that passion and drive for me to create conscious community and to build out my extended family, my soul family, beyond that of just what we consider to be a traditional family structure. And I think that's where we're going as a society. And some people really stick close to their nuclear family and bloodline, and they have certain strengths and weaknesses that come from that. But what I particularly got from growing up in the 70s and 80s, and there being more single moms than ever before, and women raising children without that male influence, it really helped us shift the patriarchal society and the whole relationship to the masculine and feminine. And this is a really big topic that I touch upon in several of the videos, is the male-female dynamics and the roles that we play and how we're shifting those to become more what I would consider to be harmonic or neutral, where we can really share in our power and our wisdom and our capacity to be equal in the world. And so I really gained that from my upbringing, that I could basically be, do, or have anything, not because I was in an environment that was encouraged, but I felt like I wasn't being, let's just say, discouraged by an overpowering masculine model. I, of course, in turn, the pro of that is I became very strong, and I was capable of raising myself and doing these amazing things in the world. But then the con of that is not having a lot of safety and security or protection. And so I've been looking for that in my life in different ways, and that has shown up. Actually, this whole connection and relationship to spirit was born out of not having anyone there for me, and then this other octave, this other level of feeling supported and connected showed up in my life very suddenly and very unexpectedly. But it has been a huge salvation. It has been a lifesaver for me. And I've had different people contact me sharing that they have experienced anxiety or depression or even PTSD. And a lot of that comes not only from the traumatic experiences in our life that haven't been fully integrated, but it comes from this disconnect from a deeper sense of self and a deeper sense of belonging and relationship to soul self. So I encourage, and that's why I'm doing these videos, is to allow that relationship to your own source and to your own higher self to come to the forefront. So I feel like the 70s and 80s, we had a lot of single moms, and then we had a generation of people that learned how to raise themselves very differently. And now when I work with millennials, I notice that they don't have a sense of security and an ability to make decisions in a different way. They are insecure in their own confidence. It's the easiest way to put it. It's hard to even put into words. The level of anxiety that I see young people have is because they haven't been living on their own or making decisions on their own for very long, and they don't know how. And they get so much support from the family structure, but it actually is a disservice, not for everybody, but for these examples that I have had in my clients where they don't have a sense of self and they haven't had this connection to source or inner being develop yet. And it is huge. It is a huge gift for people to spend some time really getting to know themselves and diving into that inner world so they have their own pillar. They have their own sense of inner strength, and that's where confidence comes from. I've had many people over the years say that I seem so confident to them, and that is a foreign concept to me because it's more like I've had to learn how to be strong and responsible and take care of myself at a young age, so now I'm just more comfortable with it. But I think as we develop, whether you're on what I call the advanced course and you started really young, or you're in your 20s or 30s and you're just discovering how to really be yourself and to live in your power, it's never too late. I don't always recommend that people take the path that I took. It was extremely challenging, and I really have had to grow into myself in a different way in adulthood, going from fiercely independent to more interdependent. And this bleeds into my desire to build community and to have extended family, that we are all soul family. And I feel like if people get too, we'll just say, bonded with their nuclear family and don't seek outside of that, then it can be one-dimensional. It can just be very narrowed in its focus. And it's really important as we are extending into this global family interactive network that the internet has allowed for us to even develop, that we really see that we are one Earth family, that we are one global family. And we don't have to take care of everyone, but we certainly want to learn how to take care of ourselves, and we certainly want to surround ourselves with people that we consider to be chosen family, and that those that are uplifting and supporting us. So those are the messages that I got from Source. And this is just Jen Healy World. This isn't like clinical studies that I'm pulling from. But for me, Source has shown me that everyone chooses their family, their biological family, based on the lessons that they want to learn. And they've shown me that everyone learns the same lessons, just in different forms. And that no matter which family that you chose, you will have issues that you get to work out in your adulthood and get to make up for what was a strength or a weakness. And that we all have those. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. We all have gifts to offer, and we all have room to grow. So I wanted to share that perspective of the family dynamics and the rebalancing of the masculine and feminine that we've been coming into. I mentioned before, for me, being the first generation female that is truly empowered to have choice and to create a life for myself that is beyond just survival is the hugest honor. And I really take that to heart. And it has been a huge challenge, and I'm sharing this to be really open with the challenges that I've experienced with the family dynamic that I was born into. But I also want to encourage you, no matter what the family structure, we all have issues that have come from that. And then we all have things that were huge gifts. But even if somebody is really independent, that needs to be healed in adulthood. And if somebody grew up codependent, that needs to be healed in adulthood, so we can all come back to a secure attachment style, as they say in psychotherapy. Well, thank you for listening. I know this is a big hot topic. I'm sure I'll touch upon it a couple different times and sprinkle about my childhood experiences and how I grew up and the influence that's had on me. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again for listening, and feel free to leave any comment or ask me anything. I look forward to tomorrow. Bye.